Hey, how you doing? Justin here with news of a new raffle. You could win a very unique and interesting instrument. But first of all, big thank you to everyone who entered the last raffle for my Sir Alt T guitar. It was a roaring success and the guitar is now with the winner, a guy called Gareth in the UK. The profit from the last raffle went toward funding a really cool new tool over on the website. It's called the Strumming Machine. If you haven't seen it yet, you might want to head on over to the website and check it out. It's basically a very cool and creative way of exploring strumming patterns. But not only that, it actually made more money than I anticipated. So I also managed to donate £2,500 to the Clean Air Task Force and another £2,500 to the Action for Happiness, both charities that I strongly recommend that you check out. They're all part of the effective altruism movement, which is something you might also like to explore. But the prize in this new raffle is a replica of my grey guitar. You're probably looking like that's actually a shell pink guitar, dude, but it's made by Tom Gray at Gray Guitars, and it is essentially the same spec as this instrument, which has kind of been my main guitar since I got it. A few little differences. One, you won't have my daughter's name in the headstock of the guitar. That will be a little bit strange. And it'll also have Justin20 engraved there in the headstock. Believe it or not, I've been doing this online lessons thing for 20 years this year. Absolutely crazy. Now these guitars, when you buy them, are about £3,500, but the raffle tickets are £5 each, and if you buy 4 you get 1 free, so a little offer incentive for buying a few extra tickets there as well. All of the proceeds will go back into the site developing new tools, and we've got a whole bunch of really exciting features that we're trying to work on as well that require a little bit of extra funding, hence why we're doing these raffles. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features on the guitar and why I spec'd it out the way I did. Probably the most obvious thing for most people will be the pickup configuration is a little bit different, but it's even maybe more different than you might realize. The bridge pickup is a humbucker that is splittable with the tone control. So when it's all the way up on 10, we get a humbucker sound. Super meaty, crunchy, big kind of fat sound. But when I turn the tone control all the way around down to 1, it's actually a single coil sound. Particularly, you really get that different. If you were ever wondering about the difference in tone between a humbucker and a single coil, well, you've got both options right there. But as well, you've got all the in-betweens because it's on a tone control. So you can have the single coil sound and then just creep a little bit of humbucker in. So you still kind of get the bite of the single coil, but some of the body of the humbucker in there as well. It's something I use all the time when I'm trying to get my guitar to sound like other sounds when I'm doing song lessons or whatever. So that's the humbucker. We've got a fairly regular, excellent sounding, mind you, single coil pickup, like a Strat middle pickup. And it blends really nice in position 4 here with I usually use this in single coil mode with that together for the kind of out of phase thing. Let's back the volume back. So that's something that I use a lot as well. To be honest, I don't tend to use the middle pickup on its own too much, but I love that out of phase blended thing. And then of course we got the Filtertron at the front. Obviously really bright. It's just a very different sound, one that I quite like. I don't tend to use that so much in the song lesson-y sort of vibe, but I use it a whole lot on the We Came as Strangers records. I do find that when I'm using that, I tend to brighten it up quite a lot on the amp to get a kind of a sound that cuts through still. It's meaty and fat, but also quite round. So that's, I guess the pickups is something that's pretty unique about this instrument. It's also a fixed bridge, so there's no, I change tunings a whole lot, so by having a fixed bridge, I don't have to be worrying about a tremolo bar lifting up. Got the the output jack on the bottom of the guitar rather than out the front. I'm never a big fan of that getting in the way. I guess when you've got a whammy bar, it's a bit more of a problem, but the aesthetic of it is a lot nicer as well. We got, of course, locking tuners, something that I don't like having any guitars really, unless they're vintage ones without locking tuners on the back. Other things, that the top of the neck is very heavily rounded, so it makes it a lot easier to get the thumb over. Oftentimes, if I'm playing with a thumb over the top of the guitar, I don't want the sharp edge of the neck, so it's really heavily rounded along there. We got clay dots, just purely aesthetic. Trying to think what else is. I've got the little spec sheet here. It's an older body, master grade, Quad A, is it called Quad A or AAAA, roasted quarter sawn flamed maple neck. A grade AAAA rosewood fingerboard. It's got a Tim Renwick switching system. I think that's what Tom calls this, the splittable thing. Oh, and also I don't use this as much as maybe I should, but by pressing the tone control, it's got a push-pull thing going on the tone control, and that activates the front pickup. So even if I'm on the back pickup here, I can pop that on and the front pickup will be active as well. I don't use that a whole lot, but it's useful. It's a mastery bridge, that's the name. I'm just trying to think. It's got a StewMac 155 9.5 to 12 compound radius frets and neck. That's talking about the frets, the StewMac 155s. So it's very, very unique. You have to ask Tom to make it. It's not something you'll ever find in a store, and especially having the 20th anniversary edition, this is the only place you're going to get it, and for only £5 a ticket. Man, it's crazy to think back 20 years ago when I first started the website, hand coding all of the pages in the back of a tour bus. It's grown and it's grown. Now I've got a whole team supporting me, but we have managed to keep most of the content free for the end user, something that I'm pretty proud of. But we've got a ways to go. We've got some really exciting features in the works, but they need financing, and great developers are not cheap. So I really appreciate your support. Remember, tickets are £5 each. You buy 4, you get 1 free. I'm using the platform Raffle. Again, it's safe and easy to use and accepts most different types of payments. You can buy tickets from anywhere in the world, but I can only ship the guitar to places that are serviced by DHL, FedEx, or Royal Mail. Now that is nearly all of the world, but if you're living in a country where you're like, shipping sometimes is difficult here, please check that out. DHL, FedEx, or Royal Mail. If one of those people ship to you, we'll do it. And we'll also pay any import duties or taxes that are involved with the shipping of the guitar and the insurance, so you won't have a penny to pay if you win this guitar. One thing I should point out is that we won't be shipping the guitar to Russia, and we won't be recognizing Russian residents as winners. You can buy as many tickets as you like, and the draw closes on August the 25th. The winner will be announced on the same day. I really appreciate your support and wishing you all the best of luck. Thanks again. Bye-bye.